So the purpose of this video is I essentially just want to take a few minutes to explain why doing the good habits actually makes you feel good. Essentially this is to do with dopamine. Now the science behind this, it comes from a guy called Andrew Huberman. I suggest you go check him out. He's got a YouTube channel. He does these sort of 2-3 hour long podcasts where he explains different subjects scientifically. He is a scientist, of course, so you can say it's verified information. And I watched this one that he done on dopamine, and I'm going to explain the key principle as to why doing good habits makes you feel good. So how he explained this was, when you do certain things like you watch porn or you smoke a cigarette or you have junk food, these activities that are pleasurable in the moment, essentially we have a baseline of dopamine, and when you indulge in these activities it spikes up to a point and then it drops back down below the initial baseline. So every time you indulge in these quick release sort of really pleasurable activities in the moment, so your junk food, porn, nicotine, alcohol, your dopamine will spike and then drop below baseline. So that's important to remember. And also every time you do it after that, the spike gets lower and lower and lower, and it's just a gradual trajectory of your baseline lowering and lowering until you feel like shit and you feel miserable, you're depressed, etc, etc. Now the reason that good habits feel good is because if you indulge in something good, it's a gradual increase of dopamine and then it just stays there. So an example he used was cold water therapy, ice bath, cold shower, that type of thing. And what that does is it increases dopamine gradually over a long time frame, and then once it flattens out, it doesn't drop back down. The baseline holds there and actually stays at a higher level. So when you do things over a long period of time, which are productive over a long period of time, for example, working towards your goals, reading a book, watching a long length podcast, for example, meditation, things that take a long time to reap the benefits, these are the activities that are deemed as good habits because your dopamine doesn't drop below your baseline. Now essentially the understanding of dopamine that he said is that the baseline, you have a certain amount of dopamine constantly circulating your brain, and then when certain activities induce a spike, then it uses all that dopamine at once, so it creates that pleasurable feeling before it then drops down. That's what the baseline means. I hope that has some sort of reasoned explanation as to why I always tell people that doing good habits will make you feel good and doing bad habits will make you feel bad. If you find that kind of information useful, I teach a beginner's guide to self-improvement course, which I'll put in the description down below, where essentially I teach you how to begin self-improvement, and I give you some examples of these habit values you should be thinking about, how to implement these habits, because it's all good having a list there, but it's how to implement it, how to think when you're starting self-improvement. So if you're interested in that, click the link in the description down below, and I look forward to seeing you inside. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video.